That's what sucks about any type of communication disorder is like communication is so important and it's so emotional and psychological. And if you have like any type of difficulty with it, it's like so much shame.
So sad.
It is really sad. Like it really,
sad.
it's something that like most people don't think about, just how hard it is to have a stutter. Every single time you go to communicate with someone, you have to think about it constantly and you feel shame about it. You're like anxious about it. You're stressed about like, will I be able to get my words out? Like, will I be embarrassed? Will someone laugh at me? Will people not be able to understand me? Will someone like finish my sentence when I don't want them to?
They said that we'd grow out of it. Well, the joke's on them, that's just our brains. We're eccentric, loud, and stubborn, and most of our clothing is covered in stains. It's not a deficit of attention, there's just too much to think about. So if executive dysfunction becomes a little too much, if you forgot why you came in this room, or you're hypersensitive to touch, then put on your seamless socks and come join our little flock. Bitches stimming together, we're weirds of a feather, weirds of a feather. Ah!
Caw-caw! Shoop, all right. To what end? I can't stop saying that. Love you, Maya. Also, you know what else I can't stop singing and listening to is your teeth are bones.
Oh, the one I showed you?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. I keep playing it.
Titus?
5, 6, 7, 8. The really frazzled 5, 6, 7, 8 is so funny.
Your teeth are bones and they live in your mouth.
They live outside.
Yeah. That's it. That's a great song.
They get taken by a demon that your parents know. So good.
It's a great song.
Teeth are bones. They live outside. I've tried watching Kimmy Schmidt and I just couldn't get into it. I might try it again.
I feel like that's a show that you would like, though.
I know, because I obviously love 30 Rock.
Right.
It's a little like more gimmicky and cheesy than 30 Rock is. And I think I went right from like rewatching 30 Rock to trying Kimmy Schmidt.
Yeah.
And it just feels a lot more hokey than 30 Rock.
It is. It's very campy.
Yes, very campy. And so
I think it's supposed to be, though.
Yes, it is. But at the time it felt a little too...
Gotta lean in.
Yeah. Felt a little too cheesy for me, but I think I could get back. I think I could give it another try.
Yeah. And now they're like rebooting all these shows. They're rebooting Scrubs.
Yeah.
No one's more excited than me. The only medical show I will ever watch.
Excited about Scrubs?
I love Scrubs.
Just sick of seeing those guys. I feel like they're doing all those commercials and I'm just...
Oh, well, yeah, because they're trying to promote their own show.
I don't care for it.
It's a great show.
I don't care for it. That's fine.
And I think they're rebooting Malcolm in the Middle.
Oh, are they? All right,
I
that's
feel
something
like
I can get behind.
I think I saw like a weird ad for it on TikTok.
What? All right, I gotta look that up right now.
Okay. Please. It's like they're all older.
Well, yeah. Time has passed.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
There we go.
Bryan Cranston's back. Malcolm hasn't acted. Frankie Muniz hasn't acted in a long time.
Is he going to be in it?
Yep.
Okay. Sweet.
Sick. I didn't know that. Whoa. All right. That's exciting news. Thanks for sharing that with me.
You're welcome.
Get you with some TV news.
I know. Usually you have the TV news.
I know.
Because I've been doing some hardcore TikTok watching.
It's a good place to learn.
Yep.
All right. Sick. The 4-episode limited series.
I like that. I like a limited series.
Yeah. Don't try to like bring it back and do this whole long thing.
Yeah. Just a cute little 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're done.
Yep. That's great.
I think that's great.
Yep. Oh, Dewey's not going to be in it. Bummer. I wonder why.
What? Did he die?
No, he's still alive. I follow him on Instagram. I never judge any actor for not coming back. It's been 20 years. I get it. You're either doing other things or you're not in the game anymore, or I don't know. There's so much criticism especially after 20 years.
Yeah.
Then you're going to get all the comparisons.
Everybody's
Whoa,
gonna be like,
they really
aged. Yeah,
wow,
it's
they
been
got
20
fat.
years. Yeah.
I know.
They put on weight. They
especially
got
Dewey.
wrinkles.
Yeah, especially Dewey is like a little kid.
That's fair.
You
It's
know?
hard to be a child actor as someone who
I know it.
has never been a child actor.
It sounds terrible.
It sounds
Everything about
awful.
being a child actor sounds
It sounds
really bad.
It sounds like I question the parents.
Yeah, of course. I don't think any normal, healthy, adjusted parent is like putting their kid in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Knowing what we know.
Yeah.
And what we've known for years and years and
Yeah.
years. You know it's going to fuck your kid up. You know you're going to get an Amanda Bynes, you know? Like, poor Amanda. I hope you're doing okay, Amanda.
Yeah.
I feel for you. I have a real soft spot in my heart for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she still is.
Yeah, she still is.
Are.
All right. You want to get into this?
Yes.
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 Have anything else to share about Malcolm in the Middle?
No.
Okay. Welcome to Words of Feather, an AuDHD-Adjacent podcast. I'm your host, Grace Bray.
And I'm your host, Kristin Stanhope.
We're back.
We are back.
And
we are here.
I've finally done it, guys. Years later, I finally have put together a stuttering episode. 2 stuttering episodes.
Woo! We have been talking about it since the beginning.
Since the very beginning. For some reason, I just couldn't and didn't. But I have and I did.
How come you're so dark? Look how dark.
I know. Why am I so dark?
Why are you in the dark? What's going on here?
I don't know. And we're back. Okay.
You're less dark, sitting in the dark, but you kind of like the dark. That's kind of like your thing.
I live in the dark. I was born in the dark. You've merely adapted to it. But actually, I was born in the dark. Born at 11:35 p.m.
Really?
Yeah. What time were you born?
7:39 p.m.
Oh.
Evening, baby.
I thought you'd be a morning baby.
No.
Coming right out. Ready to go.
Ready to go.
Ready to work.
Ready. No, I guess I was like super late, which explains a lot. My mom thought I was going to be born on Christmas Day.
That would suck.
Yep.
Whoa, you were late.
And then, well, I bet you, I don't know. I did one of my OB rotations. The OB said, he goes, I tell everybody everybody thinks that they're going to be early. I tell everybody they're going to be late. And then they usually come on time-ish. And, no one's mad at you.
Great. All right. Yeah.
It's like, that's fair. That's fair.
Good strategy.
Yeah.
Let's get into those little accomplishments and then get into the meat.
Woo!
All right.
Okay.
Little accomplishments, but big in our hearts. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Kristin, what did you accomplish?
I brought
You went lots of good walks.
I didn't know which one I put first. I've been going on lots of big walks.
Yep.
Big long walks, and I'm exhausted. I go on walks with my dog. We walk around the neighborhood. The other day we walked all around Lewiston, and boy oh boy, we saw things.
Lots of stuff to see.
Yeah. I've got some good squirrel trauma that I'll talk about later at a different episode.
Okay.
We're looking at different houses. We're looking at houses for sale. We're looking at neighbors doing stuff. Who's chopping down trees, who's not, who should be.
Yeah. Oh, you love to police people's trees.
I'm not policing. I'm just noticing.
Making a mental note.
And then we're moving on.
You're internally policing. Yeah.
It's in my blood. I can't help it.
You are very judgmental about what trees need to be cut down.
Well, some trees are too close to the house, and that presents a risk.
Really easy to
here
get
in Maine, where it's easy for them to fall down.
Yep. Yeah, it's nice to have a dog that kind of forces you to take nice big walks. It's fun to see the world through their eyes, especially a pup.
Yeah, I got a little pup, and we're just looking at all sorts of things. And sometimes I'm like, this isn't a thing, but then she insists that it is something that we need to focus all of our attention on.
She's seeing and smelling and hearing stuff that you're not even aware of.
Yeah. So it's
good job.
Nice.
Good for you.
Yeah,
Happy for you, especially now that's coming spring.
Maybe
you'll have some good walks.
Yeah,
maybe.
days.
Yes.
What have you accomplished?
I went to hot power yoga.
Ooh.
It was fucking terrible and I hated
sounds
it. But I went to it.
Awful.
It was really bad. No offense.
Some people love hot yoga. You know, I want to go in a hot room and I just want to fall asleep. I don't need to be exercising.
Very, very hot in there. But my family friend, Elliot, his now wife, we went to his like wedding celebration a few weeks ago. So congratulations, Elliot and Shelby.
Woo.
But his now wife owns a hot yoga studio in Portland.
Ooh.
I think it's Portland Power Yoga, maybe.
Oh.
But at this wedding, I ran into Juliet, sister Lily's like old best friend from middle school. And they like were BFFs and then they kind of grew apart. And I always really liked Juliet. She was one of Lily's only friends who I liked. You know who you are. And so I saw her at Elliot's wedding because she works at the yoga studio. And I was like, oh my God, Julia, I haven't seen you in like 20 years. And I'm really trying to like bring the two of them back together because I feel like they'd be good buds and I really like her and she's super cool. And so she invited me and Lily to come to hot yoga at Elliot's yoga studio. And so I went as a sacrifice. I really want her and Lily to be friends again. And I like hanging out with her and stuff. And, you know, I should go. My, friend has this business and it's cool.
Yeah,
and so
should go
he's been
support.
Yes, he's been wanting me to go to a class. So Lily and I finally went and Jeff came, Lily's husband. He wore sweatpants because he didn't realize it was hot yoga somehow. He's like, it didn't specify on the description. It's all hot yoga.
It's all hot yoga.
So it doesn't need to specify.
So hot yoga, it's yoga, but it's hot. So you sweat more.
Yes.
That's the concept.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So you sweat a lot. And there were a lot of men in that class.
How hot?
Very hot. Like in the 90s, I think. Yeah. So quite warm. And it was hot power yoga too. So not like long, deep stretches. Like you're working out.
Okay.
Jeff, for a while, I was afraid he had passed out. He was just laying in child's pose for a long time.
Yeah. Here's my question to Elliot, who I'm sure doesn't listen.
I'm trying to get him to come on the podcast.
Okay.
So
he needs to make a second class that's just sign up for a nap. And they make
hot naps.
90 degrees. Bring your own mat. You'll probably sweat. And you just curl up in a little ball and you just have a little nap. I would pay so much money to do that.
Would you?
Plan nap time for sure.
All right. Because it does feel nice if you're not having it's like a sauna kind of.
Yeah. I just want to sit there and I want to just take a little nap.
You know what? I'll pitch it to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd sign up for
because it would be cozy.
Any time of day or night. I'm there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely warm enough where you could pass out pretty quickly.
Yeah. They can call it, child's pose class or whatever, where you're just napping. That's what I want.
Yeah.
I'm going to make my own competitive studio next door. That's just hot nap.
Just hot nap. Yeah. All right.
That's all it is.
You want the hot nap without the workout? Yeah. A hot nap.
You
come
just
try hot nap.
Come nap.
Yeah.
Hot nap.
Hot nap. Yeah.
Yes. Make friends at hot nap.
Yeah. That sounds really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come have a little hot nap. Business idea. I think we got to pitch it to him. All right. I'm going to get him on the podcast.
Get him on the podcast.
Yep. And he was telling me all about how, getting really into yoga, like really kind of changed his life and saved him. I was like, that's really nice, but I'm not coming to another class. No offense. I'm just not cut out for it. No, it's all hot.
It's all hot.
Yes.
All the time.
He said his class on Tuesday evenings is a lot slower and not as hot and not as much of a workout. He's trying to, so I might check out that one just for his sake.
Okay.
I want to like it. But
can't like everything.
God, I thought I was going to pass out.
It
I had
sounds
to
like
go
you're
outside
worse
for a little bit.
You hate the heat.
I do not do well in the heat and
No.
like working out in the heat, extra bad. No.
No.
And Shelby ran the class, Elliot's now wife, and she's wonderful and is very good at it. But she really, and people said it was even harder than usual. I don't know if she was punishing me and Lily or what, but it was, I guess, even harder and hotter than usual. So.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Great.
Fantastic.
Thanks for really cranking things up for us. Yeah. Making sure we don't come back. No, but her class is wonderful. And if you're into that thing, check out, I think it's Portland Power Yoga because it's really great. Just maybe not for me, but I'm proud that I went.
I am proud that you went too.
And now it's done and now I don't have to go back. I looked at the clock at one point and it was like halfway done. I was like, oh no.
I hate that.
Oh no.
I hate that.
Yeah, it's really tricky. All right. But anyways, let's get into this meat.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm ready for the meat.
It is the meat.
I'm ready for meat.
Let me wet my whistle. Okay.
All right, I'm ready.
Finally, I am talking about stuttering.
Yes.
Yeah. Right on time. Stuttering.
Stutter.
That was good. It's not offensive because Kristin is also a stutterer.
I also have a stutter.
Yes. My qualifications for this are that I was a speech pathologist for a few years and I have a master's degree in this.
Yeah, that's like your life's work.
That's my thing. That's my life's work. Yeah, went to school for 6 years for this. Now I'm finally putting it to good use.
Yeah.
So I, got my master's and undergrad in communication sciences and disorders, aka speech pathology, but also my grad program at UVM. Shout out UVM. It's a great speech program, actually. Our professor, Barry Guitar.
Barry.
What's up, Barry? He is like a world-renowned stuttering expert. He literally wrote our textbook on stuttering. He is the sweetest little guy. He's probably like in his 80s now. I hope he's still with us. I love you, Barry. But he is a stutterer himself. And he is just like really, really into this research. He's always looking at like new developing stuff and he's always trying out new techniques and he's just very dynamic. And it was like a super cool, special thing that we got to have in our program. So we had like a huge focus on stuttering in my grad program. We did a lot of work with stutterers like in the community. And my friend Ben, who is a stutterer and worked with Barry when he was a kid. Barry was like his clinician when he was a kid. And then
learned from the best.
Yes. And then he was also in my grad program. He was the class below me because it's a 2-year program. So he was the class below me. And so he was going to school to be a speech pathologist, but he was also working with us like as the student, as the client. So we did like a program called Amigos where we worked with adults who stutter like in the community. And so Ben was my amigo where I was his like clinician. Yeah. So I got a lot of like
really cute.
Yeah. I got a lot of like
I also
really
love how it's called Amigos.
Isn't that cute?
That's adorable.
Yeah. It was mostly, I think it was all men.
Oh.
Because boys are more likely to stutter than girls. And
Oh.
I think the Amigos program was like all men. Yeah. So it was really cool to get like a lot of different types of experience with stuttering and like to be friends with someone who stutters and can like approach it from the point of view of a speech pathologist was really cool. Yeah. So I learned a lot about stuttering. It was one of my favorite aspects of speech pathology. I considered like just doing stuttering work, and who knows, I might in the future because I really like it because it's very like psychological, which I really liked. It's not just like working on your articulation of saying your R's and saying your S's. It's like there's a big mental component because obviously like communication is so important, and when you speak and you stutter, then you develop this fear around it, and then every time you go to speak and then you stutter, it's just like a negative feedback loop, and it's like reinforced. So I'm very interested in that aspect. But let's go back to basics and start with like, what is stuttering? But even before that, I just want to kick us off with famous people who stutter because I love listing off famous people who stutter. It's one of my favorite type of fun facts to share. This is one I learned because I have my normal ongoing list, but I didn't know this one. Kendrick Lamar is a stutterer.
Oh,
do you know that?
No way.
Yeah.
He talks so fast though.
Yeah. Well, that's why he got really into like poetry and rap is because he was having trouble communicating.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And now he's like the best.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. So Kendrick Lamar, Marilyn Monroe. That's why she used that little like whispery voice, because when you speak in like an accent or if you're singing, you often don't stutter because you're using like a different pathway than the pathway that the stutter has like developed on. And so when Marilyn Monroe did that like breathy voice, it allowed her to like access a different pathway and then she wouldn't stutter. That's why she used that voice.
Have we ever heard her real voice?
I'm sure there's recordings of it. Yeah, I think there are recordings of it. Probably when she was like talking about the stuff. James Earl Jones is another big one.
What?
Yeah.
What?
And he was like practically like almost mute for a while when he was a kid because his stutter was so severe.
Really?
And there's a lot of actors. Yeah. A lot of actors and a lot of singers. Yeah. Because obviously they, when you're working on speaking in a certain way, you can kind of like develop these techniques for like moving past the stutter and just like part of it is really just like getting more comfortable with it and not having that anxiety and fear around stuttering. So I feel like acting could really, really help with that, you know?
Yeah.
Julia Roberts is another big one.
Really?
Yep. Michelle Williams from Destiny's Child.
Oh, Michelle.
Yeah, Michelle. I think she's on Broadway now, right?
I know she made like a gospel album, like religious stuff.
I think she's on Broadway.
Good for her.
Charles Darwin was a stutterer. Do you know that?
Oh, I have no idea.
Yep.
I don't know.
Wayne Brady, another stutterer.
Wayne Brady?
Was very into like singing and theater and doing voices, right? Elvis Presley was a stutterer.
Really?
Yep. Singing. B.B. King was a stutterer. Carly Simon is a stutterer. Ed Sheeran is a stutterer. Shaquille O'Neal is a stutterer.
Shaq?
Yep.
Get out.
And a lot of people, if they don't get into like music or theater, will get really, really into sports. And what Ben found, at least, was when because he was really into cross country track. And when he would run, his stutter would like go away because he was focused on something else. So a lot of people find that like doing something physical with their body takes them out of their head and allows them to like have smooth, fluent speech. So there were quite a few athletes as well. Lewis Carroll, the author of Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And Andrew Lloyd Webber. Cats. He's a huge Broadway producer and playwright.
Made the silliest Broadway show we know.
And / the best. Yeah, he wrote a lot of other stuff, but Cats is, I think, the funniest reference. So, yeah. Nice, big, long list of stutterers that hopefully you guys can then take those facts and kind of keep them in your back pocket for whenever someone mentions those people. Really something fun to share. Yeah. Okay. So what is stuttering? And Kristin, I'm going to have you like after it's interesting because Kristin, you know, does have a bit of a stutter. Were you, when you were a kid?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's start with
my experience.
Yeah, stuttering experience.
I don't really remember stuttering too much.
Like you never had to go to speech for it
I never
or anything?
had to, I guess my parents had a conversation about it and they're like, well, let's just give her like one more year and see if it gets better. And I guess it just like got better.
It happens a lot.
Which, you know, was nice, but maybe speech would have been helpful for other things. But
yeah,
you know, like my almost crippling dyslexia, but
yeah, I think that would have been the main focus.
That would have been fantastic, but missed it. So my mom's like, you grew out of it, but it wasn't good.
Okay. So it was like kind of severe.
I guess so. I don't really remember. They're like, that's just like how she is. Yeah. She's just one of those.
They did that with you on a lot of stuff.
On a lot of
just
things.
Like, oh, that's just how she's
weird that
she's doing that.
Weird that she's doing that. I mean,
it's almost like a clinical level of doing that.
Like when I was, and I think it was like when I was really young. So it was before like grade school or anything, you know, like before elementary school. So I'm sure it was like preschool or something. And they're like, well, you know, she's not even reading yet. So
yeah.
Maybe she's just going to talk like that. And then they were like, well, it's getting bad. Maybe we should do speech. And then I grew out of it apparently. But it comes out randomly. It's usually when I'm having like many thoughts. And it's usually when I'm home. Most often recently it's been like in front of Christopher.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Cause I think it's like my guard's down and I'm like thinking of a bunch of things. I'm like just getting home and we've got to like talk about something or, you know, we've got to communicate on like several different things. And I think I just kind of like get stuck and I like can't, it's like a word finding thing, you know? And
so it doesn't feel so much like you're like physically stuck and unable to get it out.
Sometimes I'm physically stuck and I just kind of like stop and I'm like, I hope you can guess it.
Yeah.
You know, and Christopher usually does, which is great. But or I like make it through, or sometimes, and I don't know if this is dyslexia or stuttering, is like I just use a different word, like I get really stuck on it, and then I come up with something that either is just a different word that kind of means the same thing, or a different word that sounds like the word that I want to use, and people can
circumvention.
Oh,
it's like a compensatory strategy, which can be a good strategy. It can also be like detrimental. Like we had one guy in our Amigos program who you would never know he was a stutterer because he was constantly doing that of kind of like go around all these different word blocks. Because a lot of stutterers have specific sounds that are especially difficult for them. And so although he didn't verbally stutter, he was constantly like in his mind trying to do workarounds around all these different words. So it can be a maladaptive strategy if you're doing it like constantly.
It's not.
But it sounds like you're just doing it whenever you encounter something that's just especially tricky. You just kind of bail out and try a different one. I think that's a fine strategy to use. Yeah.
And sometimes I can power through it, but
if you like stop and like take a breath and then try it again, does that help?
It usually helps.
Okay.
But sometimes if I'm like really worked up, like I'm not stopping. I'm just gonna like stutter my way through it.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's also probably a bad strategy, but
no, I don't think it's a bad strategy. One of the conversations around stuttering, first of all, it's people are leaning more towards like it is a neurodivergence, which I totally agree with. Like it is a different brain wiring that does come with like all these other things. And a lot of people advocate for it to be considered like a communication difference as opposed to a communication disability or a communication disorder, because it is just like a different way of communicating. And a lot of people advocate for like one of the main strategies to work on stuttering is like accept it and work on like, this is just how I can, which is obviously easier said than done. And there's a lot of like trauma and social shame that comes with stuttering. So I'm not trying to come in here and be like, it's fine. Just get over it and accept it. Like it can be like truly very traumatic for people. But like at the end of the day, it is a communication difference and it is a neurodivergence. And part of it is really just acknowledging that like, that's just how you communicate. And that's okay. You know, maybe people need to learn how to be
who
patient.
Speak sign language stutter.
No, but well, they might have like a more of a physical challenge with creating the signs. That would be a different pathway.
Okay. Oh yeah,
that's a good question.
Motor movement in the hands is different than here.
Yeah, than your speech network. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for sharing your personal.
I feel like
experience with it.
I don't really remember much, but it just kind of comes out randomly, and I find like once it comes out, I'll stutter like several times that day.
Like, do you get like self-conscious about it? And does that make it worse?
Yeah. Probably, because I kind of notice like, oh well, this is happening again. But then like then I'll go, months without stuttering.
Yeah.
It's just like weird. I don't know. It just kind of comes. I don't have like a specific sound that I've noticed. Maybe I should notice it more.
Yeah, maybe pay attention to it and see like when it happens and what words it's happening on.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be attached to a certain sound, like especially if you don't do it that often. I think the specific sound thing kind of comes with that negative reinforcement of, getting stuck on certain words, and then you come up to that word or that sound again, and then you're like, oh my God, last time I got stuck on the C sound, and then you stutter on the C sound, and then over and over and over, and then like that C sound is really hard for you. So I think if you don't have like a lot of trauma and shame around it because you grew out of it at a young enough age, for the most part grew out of it, then I could see that like being less attached to like specific words or specific sounds.
Yeah. I think my situation is very fortunate where it just like, I can't even explain it. Just like, it was just kind of gone. And I don't really remember as a kid stuttering a lot, but my parents do.
Yeah.
Or my mom does.
I want to hear what she has to say about it.
She's probably just got a lot to say about me. So
yeah.
She's got a lot to say.
Get her in here, Teresa. Yeah. When you're like more tired, does it happen also? Or like emotionally overwhelmed or burnt out?
Yeah, it's like the emotional overwhelming when I have like it's like I have too many things to say up here and I'm trying to like get them all out, like very like pressured speech. I need to like get all my things out so I can say them so that they're communicated well. And then I'll just like get stuck on a word and you're just like,
yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah.
But it hasn't happened in a bit.
Yeah, it's not like it impedes your ability to communicate. It's more so just something that's just kind of annoying.
It's annoying.
Yeah.
Christopher's very patient with me.
Do you find that when you're like put on the spot, like if you are like ordering food at a restaurant, or you're like making a stressful phone call or something like that, does it come out more?
I think I end up doing like the more, and I kind of buffer more. It takes me a little bit to go through my mental process of like communicating, but I don't think it's not really a stutter. It's usually just like I work with these two surgeons who speak very fast and they need answers immediately. But I don't know if this is an auditory processing disorder. I just need like a moment to buffer.
Yeah.
And they're like, they'll ask me a question and I'm kind of like thinking, and they're like, and they think that I'm just not answering them, but I'm like, I need them, give me a moment to respond.
Yeah.
Super frustrating.
No, I'm the same way. Yeah. And it's like, is this auditory processing? Is it ADHD? Is it autism? Yeah.
Am I just not listening?
Yeah. Just not, yeah. Which for you could be
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be.
No, I feel like it takes my brain so long to figure out like what's being said. What I get stuck on is what kind of answer are they looking for? You know, what information, and I think that's probably the autism of what information are they looking for, and how can I summarize what I need to say appropriately?
Right.
Yeah.
And also in the work environment, whether it's healthcare or something, you have to relay this information in like basically a politically correct way. And sometimes that's just not done. Sometimes you just have to give like either a yes or no answer, and they're going to be like, what do you mean? And you're like,
yeah, it's a lot of thinking going on with that type of question. Yeah. For Ben, he would find that, because we were also friends outside of being in grad school together. So like we would all go out drinking together, and then towards the end of the night, like in Burlington on Church Street, they have like little like street meat, little food stands and stuff.
Meat.
Yeah. And sometimes
I
we
remember
like
that.
Yeah. I love Church Street. I love Burlington. Everyone go visit Burlington, Vermont. It is like the cutest little town. It really is the best.
Just Lucy, every single time.
Every time you're like, what could it be?
Could be. It's a burglar.
We live with other people. We live with Lucy and Ian. But like late at night, because part of the Amigos program is you want to encourage them instead of kind of shying away from communicating, because that also just reinforces the idea that you're going to get stuck, and then it creates anxiety around it. So you'd really try to encourage them to speak, even if they're worried about stuttering, because you don't want to create this fear around it. But towards, we're out drinking. It's a Saturday night. I'm not going to be like, Ben, you should really work on your. So sometimes he'd be like, Grace, can you just order for me? I'm like, yeah. Dog. Like, I'm not going to make you. It's like midnight.
Yeah.
We're drunk on Saturday. I'm not going to be like, Ben, you really need to work on your speech. Yeah. Because that's when he would especially get stuck, is like when he's really tired, when there's a lot of like speech pressure on him. When there's like a high like cognitive load on certain information.
Pressure's on.
Yeah, someone's asking your name, or
everybody's drunk and hungry.
Yes, and it's loud and there's a lot going on and the guy's distracted, and you got to like convey this information of what you want. And so sometimes I would just like order for him, which don't tell Barry guitar, but like
Barry can chill.
Barry can chill. I feel like he would be understanding of that. I'm not gonna make Ben do that. That sucks.
He just wants some street meat.
Give the man some shawarma. Yeah. Yeah. But I really feel like I learned, so it was really interesting to get to like work with Ben as a clinician, but then also just be friends with him and see like, what it's like from his perspective on both sides. Okay. So like, let's get into what stuttering is.
Yeah.
Stuttering is obviously a speech disorder. It's the most common type of speech disorder. Where the speaker knows what they want to say, but has difficulty producing the words smoothly. So it's not like a word finding issue. It's not like an aphasia where you're unable to come up with the word you want to say. It's truly, and it's not like there's nothing physically wrong with the speech mechanism. It's that connection from, I should point over here on your left, on your language area to your motor movement of your speech mechanism, like getting it out. Stutters might be accompanied by secondary behaviors like rapid eye blinking or tremors, and you might see like little twitch of the lips and face.
Oh.
So some people, like when they're really, really stuck, you can like really see it in their face, which is important to look for. A lot of people, I think part of it is our rapid paced society and our quickness of judgment and wanting to just like get information going really quickly. A lot of people will kind of say rude things to stutterers, not realizing that they're like stuck on stuff.
Yeah.
Like, God, this one time, because we did like intramural soccer when we were in grad school, and we did it with Ben, and Ben and I went up to the table to like sign in once, and you have to tell them your name. And Ben goes to tell the guy his name, and he would get really stuck on the B sound. So he was like, and like, I knew that he was stuck on his words because I know him and I could see it in his face, but this guy wasn't really paying attention. He was just trying to check people in. And the guy goes, what, you don't know your own name? I was ready to fight that man.
Dick.
And he didn't know, like, you know, it
Doesn't
sucks.
matter.
I know.
Doesn't matter.
And it, obviously was extremely upsetting and embarrassing for Ben.
Yeah. Did you say, hey, that's a dick thing that you just said?
No, Ben got it out. I didn't want to like jump in and be, you know, like his protector. We also like weren't super close friends. This was like towards the beginning of the program. So I didn't know like as an onlooker what to do in that situation. And he handled it. You know, he's been stuttering since he was a little kid. But I could tell it was like really embarrassing. And like I could tell that the guy was embarrassed once he realized what was going on.
Yeah.
But still, shame on you that you should.
Shame on you.
Yes.
Rein it in. Saying that to anybody, regardless of stutter, is such a rude thing.
Like he's obviously stuck for a reason.
Right? Or, you know, maybe he's super shy. Maybe he's having a hard day. Maybe he just cried in the car for some reason.
Yep.
No need to like come in super hot like that to a total stranger.
And like, what if he had forgotten his own name
and
because he has a brain problem? Yeah.
What the fuck? Who says that? Some people are just like unreal.
Yes. So don't ever do that. Don't ever say that to anyone.
Don't be a dick like that to
yeah.
a total stranger because you have no idea.
Yeah.
Unless they're a dick to you, you know, like.
Yeah. But it can be confusing if you don't know what's going on. Not to defend that guy because don't react that way. But I get that it can be confusing when you're like expecting someone to respond a certain way at a certain time. And then especially because there are different types of stutters. I'll cover the different types. But there are types where you're like just silent, where you can't get that initial sound out.
Oh.
And that can be very confusing because you ask someone their name and then they're just kind of, if you're not noticing like the stress in their face, like you can kind of, a lot of people will, you know, be like blinking to try to kind of like get it out, or you can see some like tightness in their mouth trying to get this word out. But especially on the phone or whatever, you ask someone their name or information and then there's just like silence from your perspective. That can be confusing.
Yeah.
So I think it's good to like raise awareness.
Is anyone home?
Yeah. Like, hello. Yeah. And we did have this poor guy, Wes, in the Amigos program. He was working with
I just love how it's called Amigos.
I know, isn't that so cute?
So fun.
Barry Guitar. He's just the best. Yes. And I also did like a kids stuttering support group there. I did like I had a lot of stuttering experience. It was really cool. But this guy, Wes, who was like 20, and his big thing he would get stuck on is he would have blocks at the beginning of words where he couldn't get it out. And a big one he would get stuck on is the H sound for like hello.
Oh.
And so for like exposure therapy, we would have them make phone calls to different businesses and ask questions, which is very stressful. Ooh.
Fun.
But it might also be the hello. They're not that far apart.
Oh, okay.
So he might also get stuck on that. But good thinking. Konnichiwa.
Hola.
Hola. Also
begins with an H, but
silent. Yeah. But also a vowel. And his clinicians had him call like 20 times. There you go. Yeah. Bienvenidos.
Doesn't that mean welcome though?
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird.
Whatever.
All right.
Better than saying nothing. But he would get really stuck on the H sound, couldn't get it out. He got hung up on 18 out of 20 times. And he kept calling. He wasn't calling one place over and over. He would call different businesses. But because they would pick up and be like, hello. And he would go,
that's
like,
so
really stuck. And I don't, once again, they don't know what's going on. They think it's just no one on the other end.
Right. Or
so
like
they hang up on him.
Kid
prank calling us, saying nothing.
Saying nothing. How dare they?
Yes. And I get they're busy. And so they just hang up on him. But he kept like, I would not have the strength of that guy to keep calling after 18 out of 20 times.
I'd be like,
I'm never using a phone again. Yeah. No, sorry. I'm never calling again. I already don't want to call places and I have no problem with getting my speech out.
It takes me so much to one email, one phone call. It's too much.
Yep. Meanwhile, this guy is just getting hung up on left and right.
18 phone calls in one day. That's enough. That's like a month worth of phone calls.
Can you imagine? Yeah. God, the mental fortitude. All right. So different types of stutters. So there's 3 different like main types of stutters. There's repetitions, and that's kind of your more like classic stutter. That's where the speaker repeats either sounds, syllables, or words. So like for the word remember, it could be like remember, or it could be like member, where it's like that whole syllable. Or it can be like where you're repeating the whole word, but I feel like that's not as common. I feel like the sounds and syllables are kind of like most common. Like Elmer Fudd or Bugs Bunny or Porky Pig. It's Porky Pig.
Oh,
That's all, folks. That's like the classic kind of mocking a stutter.
Oh yeah, you should put that on your famous people stutter list.
Yeah, Porky Pig. Great representation. Yeah. So that's the repetition type. There's also prolongations, and that's where you're like dragging a speech sound out, where you're kind of stuck on this one sound and you're kind of like dragging it out. And that happens more often with like vowels, or like I feel like it happens kind of like with the M sound, like remember might be like that.
Oh.
Yeah. Where you're just prolonging this one sound. Yeah.
I didn't know there was, I thought it was, I didn't know there were other types of stutters. I thought I've only like known about the repeating one.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like the other 2, so prolongations and then blocks, are like not as common, or maybe they're just like not as noticeable. So the third is blocks, and that's the one where you just can't produce any sound. And that usually happens at the beginning of a word, although you could get like halfway through a word and then have a block, and then like not be able to like finish the rest of it for a bit.
Super
get stuck.
frustrating.
Yeah. And I think that one, I mean, they all are incredibly frustrating and suck in their own different ways, but I feel like blocks would be really hard because people don't realize what's going on. You know, I think people would be more likely to like mock the first one of the repetitions, because that's like your kind of stereotypical stutter. Probably get made fun of more for that one. But the blocks, I think that leads to more confusion from people, and that also comes with probably a lot of shame. And that's what sucks about any type of communication disorder, is like communication is so important, and it's so emotional and psychological, and if you have like any type of difficulty with it, it's like so much shame.
So sad.
It is really sad. Like it really, it's something that like most people don't think about, just how hard it is to have a stutter. Every single time you go to communicate with someone, you have to think about it constantly, and you feel shame about it. You're like anxious about it. You're stressed about like, will I be able to get my words out? Like, will I be embarrassed? Will someone laugh at me? Will people not be able to understand me? Will someone like finish my sentence when I don't want them to?
At my job, we have these little walkie-talkies. They're called voceras. They're the bane of my existence. And the thought is that anybody can, if they know your name, they can reach you anywhere. You have your walkie-talkie, basically. And you have to be like very clear when talking into it, when you're trying to call. If I'm trying to call Grace Beret, call room 305 nurse. And you have to be very like deliberate and clear and concise, or else it like is like, I didn't hear that. Who are you calling? And it's like the most, I'm on that thing all day. I couldn't imagine like having a severe stutter and like trying to do that, because if you say the word wrong, it will call someone else. Or if you're delayed, like if you have that where you're not able to initiate a sound,
the blocks,
it will just hang up.
Lots of types of like automation, I bet, are really really frustrating. Like, sorry, I didn't catch that. Taking you back to main menu, and you like
say 1 if you want the next menu or whatever. Say 2, and they're like
I didn't get that. Connecting you with a supervisor.
Hanging up.
That would be, I bet in the age of automation, it can be like even more frustrating, because there's not another human on the other end to like be able to kind of figure out what's going on. It's like you either say the word correctly or you don't, and there's like not a human there to kind of intercept.
It's awful.
So I want everyone's takeaway from this episode to just be like, everyone work on, their empathy when it comes to communication disorders and different styles and forms of communicating. And we could all do to like slow down a bit. And that's what I think was one of the important things that I learned from my grad school and also being friends with Ben and working with a bunch of different stutterers is like, part of this is on me as a communicator as well, you know, that I need to be more patient. I need to, because I always just want to like move on to the next thing, move on to the next thing.
Let's go.
And you do have to be very patient, and you don't want to make people feel rushed and stressed, because obviously that makes the problem worse on their end. And it's just not a good communication partner approach to make people feel stressed and rushed. And also there is like a eye contact element as much as you can stand it, where you want to show them that you're not like, which is hard as an ADHDer, where you're not like bored, you're not looking around, you're there and you're listening, and you're allowing them to take the time and space they need to get their words out, however long it takes, you know, because if they feel like the other person is losing interest or they're not really getting what you're saying, then they're obviously going to have that shame come up, and then it's going to make the problem worse. So, and I'm going to talk about some strategies for just like how to be a really good communication partner for people who stutter. But that is a big part of it, is like on our end, being really patient and understanding, and just like showing that you're there and you're listening, and it takes as long as it takes. It's just a different way to communicate. Are you going to make it? Your eyes are like fully closing. Let's take a caffeine break because I really got to pee.
Sorry. And we're back.
And we're back.
We're warmer.
Just had to take a quick break to Kristin.
I don't do well in the cold.
Warm up. Looks like she's actively dying while I'm speaking.
I'm just trying.
Which is really nice for me.
Yeah. I promise.
What a treat. Like, wow, I am really crushing this episode. Kristin's asleep.
The episode's very interesting. It's just, I don't do well in the cold.
You do not.
I consistently do poorly.
You're a lizard. You need a hot rock.
I need a hot rock. Now I found one. So thank you. Thank you
welcome.
for letting me borrow your hot rock.
Yeah, shout out to microwavable heating pads. Everyone should get one. They're the best.
It's called Biomed DB Design LLC.
Sure.
http://sunny.bay.com.
You heard it here first. Yeah,
Not
get one
sponsored.
of those if you get cold a lot, because that's the best. And I just pop it on in the mornings, and then I can walk around with it.
It is nice to walk around with it.
Yeah.
Maybe I gotta get it.
That's the best.
How many heating pads is too many heating pads?
No such thing.
Currently have 4 in our household.
Great.
Yeah.
Sounds like an appropriate number.
But we don't have one that you can tie on.
You need a tie on one.
That's
Sounds
what
like
I'm
you need
thinking.
5.
I need 5.
It's also nice like on your lower back and your hips.
Well, we have one that plugs in that has an automatic timer that's for the low back. We have one that goes around the neck that plugs in with a timer. Got to have a timer because you don't want it on for too hot for too long, because then you'll get weird rashes and skin breakdown.
Yes. Yeah, that's the nice thing about the microwavable one, is they're their own timer.
They are their own timer. And then, I have a microwavable one that has like chamomile and lavender scents in it. Yeah, it's quite nice.
Yeah.
My mom got it for me out of nowhere.
All right, Trace.
She was like, I feel like you might want this. And I was like, this is the best thing that's ever happened to me. And that one goes around the neck. But
you need a tie around the waist one.
Yeah. That's what I need.
Lucky number 5.
That's what I need.
That's what you need. That's what everyone needs. All right, getting back into this.
Yes.
Stuttering. Let's kind of look at how the speech mechanism works. Just to kind of give an overview so you guys just have a refresher on.
So we're talking about brains.
What's going on.
Okay.
Kind of. We're talking about mostly the speech mechanism.
Okay.
Like the physical speech mechanism.
So like the jaw.
Yes, kind of. Your diaphragm, your larynx. Yes. So speaking is the most physically complex thing humans do.
Really?
Yes. Which makes sense because you're making a lot of fine motor movements. A lot of coordination of different elements have to go into it, you know?
Yeah.
So how it starts when you're going to say something is the brain creates a signal, and that activates more than 100 muscles that have to move precisely in sync with each other over mere tenths of a second every time you open your mouth to speak.
Damn.
Yeah. So there's a lot going on with it. So after you have that brain signal to say something, then the speech starts with the diaphragm, which is the muscle lying beneath your lungs, and that pulls downward, which fills your lungs with air when you breathe. So then when you go to speak, that air from the diaphragm is passed through your larynx or your voice box, which is in your neck, And that is where a number of tiny muscles vibrate your vocal cords to turn the air into sound. And that is how your voice happens. So it's air passing over your vocal cords, and they're slapping together at different frequencies depending on what speech sounds you're making. And that is what causes the voice to happen.
But also, what about like the tongue?
Well, I'm about to get there.
Oh,
this is just the beginning of the process.
Sorry. That's just pitch.
That's just like, that's what's happening. Air is, so when we do that, our air is coming up from our diaphragms, through our throats, through our larynx, voice box, through your larynx. And then that's where your vocal cords are coming together with that air, and they're vibrating. I'll show you guys. It's like an oscillating wave.
Oh.
Like that. Is they kind of like oscillate like a wave.
I guess I never knew. I know a lot about anatomy, but I didn't know that.
Well, it's kind of a very specific process that I learned about because this was my grad program. And so we had to take like a voice class specifically, and obviously did like a lot of
like voice
anatomy.
Lessons?
No, like you can, because you can be a speech therapist that works on voice with people, whether it's like they had a stroke or they have Parkinson's or something that causes your vocal cords to be really tight, which makes it harder for air to pass through. And so like with Parkinson's, like you'll hear a really tight voice like that, kind of like RFK. So part
he has Parkinson's?
Well, that's like the way he speaks, the tightness of his vocal cords.
It's not just the worm.
Sounds like Parkinson's. It's not just the worm. There's something going on with his vocal cords. Or like people who are trans and they want to change the pitch of their voice, they will go to a voice speech pathologist.
Really?
Yeah. So you could be a SLP that works with trans people to either like lower your pitch or raise your pitch. Isn't that cool?
That's cool.
I know. Yeah.
Oh, who's that woman who like worked in tech and there was like a lot of documentaries about her?
Temple Grandin?
No, not Temple Grandin. She made up her own business that didn't actually work.
Yes, where she has that really deep voice.
Yeah, she made up her own voice and it's really deep.
Yes.
Elizabeth.
Yes.
Something.
Holmes. With Holmes? Yes. Elizabeth Smart is the kidnapping victim. Elizabeth Holmes, I think it is. Yes.
It's too many Elizabeths.
Too many. Cut down on those Elizabeths. Yeah, she has a really deep voice, but
she made it that way, right? That's like not her natural voice.
I don't know.
I guess
what
is a
would
natural
you do
voice?
That? A natural voice is like when the way to find your natural voice actually is, especially because as women, a lot of us kind of now naturally put on like a higher
little
voice.
Baby voice.
It's like when Mo would answer the phone when we would call and she'd be like, "Hello, Quinn residence." And you'd be like, "Hi, Mo, it's Grace." She'd go, "Oh, hi." Hey, I guess I don't get your phone voice anymore. And then for men, they will try to like lower their voice lower than what's natural because they want to sound more masculine. Yeah. So the way to find your natural pitch is to take a deep breath and just let out your like baseline. Kind of start with like a breath and then add a little bit of voice, add a little sound. So like, so like this would be my natural pitch, which I feel like I do.
Yeah.
For the most part.
I don't think we're good at like faking other voices or pitches.
I'm not faking much femininity.
No.
No, I never have. Never will. Yeah.
Wish we could.
Yeah. It would have been nice to maybe mask some stuff, but I'm glad we didn't. You know, we are who we are.
We are who we are.
Yeah.
We are who we are.
But if you feel like your voice, and it's like masking where you don't even, after a while, when you reach a certain age, it feels like, well, this is just how I speak because you've been masking it for so long that it has become how you speak, but it's not necessarily like your most natural pitch. But that's a way to find out like what is your natural speaking voice. Yes, Kristin.
I have a question.
Yes.
So when singers get older, sometimes it's hard for them to reach those really high notes.
Yes.
Is that because of the larynx?
Yes, because your muscles just get weaker. And so because those muscles do need to come together to make speech, and especially so the higher the note is, the faster your vocal cords are oscillating and the more they're coming together quickly. And so like everything slows down and weakens as you get older, the harder it is for your vocal cords to come together like as tightly and as quickly as they need to like reach certain pitches. So that's why older people like have trouble hitting those high notes as much. And you can also like damage your vocal cords. Like if you hear people talk about like getting nodes on their vocal cords, like,
like lymph nodes?
They're, yeah, kind of, but they're just like little bumps on their vocal cords, which happens from like overuse. Like it happened to Adele. It's happened to like singers in the past, and sometimes they'll like lose their voice.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But it's because they're like overusing their voice. And so if you think about it, like the more your vocal cords are coming together, especially like with someone like Adele, who's hitting really high notes, hitting big notes, she's putting a lot of wear and tear on her vocal cords. And so you'll get nodes on them, which are like little bumps.
Mm-hmm.
And then that impacts the way that the muscles, the larynx, your vocal cords can come together. So like if you think about it, when you're thinking about like the wave of two, like kind of like two ropes slapping together.
Okay.
If there's like a little like skin bump on there, like a little blister almost, they're not going to be able to come together perfectly because that little bump is kind of impeding the way they're coming together.
Yeah.
So that's going to stop them from being able to create those notes like in perfect pitch. So that's why it's really important to do like vocal warm-ups and vocal cool downs.
We got to do
afterwards.
vocal warm-ups and cool downs.
We really should be. I know we're not showing good voice hygiene, which is what it's called, you know?
Is it really?
Yes, of having proper voice hygiene, where you're supposed to warm up your voice, especially if you're going to talk a lot, or especially if you're singing. Like Broadway singers all obviously like have to condition their voices.
Blah, 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 blah,
yeah.
blah, blah.
And they have like there are different exercises you can do. I learned all this in voice class, different exercises you can do to bring your vocal cords together in different ways. And it's kind of like stretching your muscles before a workout.
Ow, now brown cow.
Sure.
Is that
I think
one?
that's more about your articulation. Like there are exercises that like, especially, you know, like performers do to like make sure they can switch sounds and be able to like, ow, now, brown cow, get the mouth movements. And then there's other warm-ups you do specifically to condition your vocal cords so that you're not just going from like kind of speaking normally or not really saying much to like singing super loudly. And now you're really slapping those vocal cords together after like not having done that all day or whatever. So yeah, that's why it's important to condition your voice, which we should do. And some like speech pathologists can work with like singers on that type of thing so that they don't blow out their vocal cords. There's like lots of different.
Like that guy from Disturbed.
Is that what happened? He was doing a lot of the screamo.
He did a lot of he was the, you know, that song like Down with the Sickness. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. He got, I think he was about to go on tour and he had like a huge laryngeal injury. It was probably from that.
It probably was. Yeah. Because that really puts a lot of strain on your vocal cords.
Yeah.
And if they're like really, really tense and then they're coming together a lot too, that's just going to like create even more like harm and wear on them. And then it's like having a sore throat where it's going to like hurt because you're have these two sore vocal cords that are then coming together, and that's really going to hurt.
My vocal cords hurt just thinking about it.
Right?
Yeah.
Painful. So that's just the process of moving the air through your larynx, through your voice box. So then once that air gets up to your mouth, so it's funneled through your mouth and your nose, and that's where your tongue, the lips, the teeth shape it into recognizable sounds. And so those are like your articulators, what it's called. There are roughly 45 speech sounds in the English language. I know we only have 26 letters in our alphabet, but a lot of letters make multiple sounds. And that's where like I had to learn the International Phonetic Alphabet, the IPA, which is where like whenever you look up a dictionary word and you're like looking at the pronunciation, it'll have like sometimes you'll see like the upside down E, or you'll see kind of like the little umlaut, or like the two dots next to each other, or like you'll see
I think
like an A and an E together.
Need to just redo the English language.
I agree. We should use the International Phonetic Alphabet to spell, because it makes so much sense. Because then you can see how this letter is pronounced.
Yeah.
Because like the letter C can either make a K sound or it can make a s sound.
Yes.
And that doesn't make any sense.
We need 2 different letters for two different sounds.
I agree. And the International Phonetic Alphabet would solve this problem. And same with vowels. Like sometimes a E or any vowel can either be long or short.
Yeah.
Like the word like pet is a short E, whereas Pete is a long E. Those are both represented by just the letter E. But in IPA, there's 2 different symbols that represent either long E or short E. So it's a lot easier to like figure out how this sound is or how this letter is pronounced.
Like pit and pie.
Yeah. I.
I.
Yeah.
Apple.
And there's diphthongs, which is where
Whoa.
a vowel is represented by what's essentially like 2 different speech sounds. Like row is really the sound is O, like O-U, like row. Kind of hard to talk that one out.
Row. O-U?
Or is it A-U? Yeah. Row. I guess maybe I would even do that as a A-U, row, in IPA.
Row.
No, maybe O-U. Yeah.
Be just
Row.
one O. I think it's just spelled okay. I agree with the spelling, the current
Do you?
spelling.
I guess the W changes it.
Yeah. Row.
But like, okay, like ice cream.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ice cream. That's like, you would represent that in IPA as like a AI together. It's called a diphthong, where it's like 2 different vowel sounds represent one letter, one vowel.
I think we need to just make up a couple more letters.
Yeah,
just make it
well,
a new letter.
The IPA is right there. Everyone learn the IPA. There's this girl in my grad program who was definitely autistic. And she was, of course, top of our class. And for fun, on the weekends, she and her boyfriend would watch TV shows and transcribe them into IPA. It is kind of fun. It feels like you know this like secret language, which is kind of fun, but like, let's calm down. That's too much. Yeah.
I mean,
good for her.
That is really
I'm sure
cute.
She's a great researcher.
What did her boyfriend do?
He wasn't in our speech program. She must have taught him the International Phonetic Alphabet.
And then she was like, guess what? We're doing this
let's
together.
transcribe this. Yeah.
And he was like, anything for you, dear.
Sure. I'm sure he loved it. I'm sure he was also
love
autistic.
right there. That's
right?
love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was in grad school, I did like a student, what is that called? Student work? Student
internship.
Student work, where you're like working like for the school.
Okay.
And you're like getting paid a stipend or whatever.
Okay.
Right? What is that called?
Intern. Well, I guess
no, it's like a student work program. You have to like be,
yeah.
Whatever that is.
Yeah.
I did it for one of our professors, Shelley, and the position was watching these speech sessions with like a clinician and a client and transcribing it into
I
IPA.
remember you doing that. Yeah.
It's really hard because now I know I have an auditory processing disorder. And so I would have to rewatch it like over and over and over because you're having to like listen to these very specific vowel sounds and speech sounds. And like there are all these little like symbols you add in there to denote whether there was like even within that, you're like the vowel could be pronounced like slightly differently and there's different dialects. And like, it was very difficult for me. Probably not the best position for me. And I also,
now they have AI to do that, to be honest.
Yeah, maybe. I hope not. Oh, and then the last note just about producing speech is that there are certain consonants where your voice is like turned on or your voice is turned off. So it's more like breathy or you're like adding that voice to it. So you're either like just kind of pushing air through your larynx or you're making your vocal cords vibrate and producing like a voice sound. Like F and V, you're making those sounds in the same exact place in your mouth, except one F is just voice. It's called voiceless. It's just air. Whereas V, you're turning your voice on.
Oh,
yeah.
F.
You don't say F. You make. Don't say stage freeze. Just do it. You're just going. So you can feel in your mouth, like your teeth and your tongue are in the same exact place for those sounds. Yes. But one, you're turning on the voice, and the other, you aren't.
It's going to be great for the listeners.
Great. Yeah. Really good stuff. And
can you hear the difference, listeners?
Yeah. Isn't that fun? Yeah.
Hold on. I combine them.
There you go.
Fuck.
Yeah.
And then fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's created the same. The articulation positioning is the same, but one, you're turning your voice off, and one, you're turning it on.
What about languages that have like clicks and stuff in them? Are we not there yet?
What about them?
Is that voice? Is that mouth sounds?
Yeah, because you're not really using your vocal cords for those. It's more about just the mouth sounds.
Okay.
Yeah. Crazy. All right. Some more facts about stuttering.
Yes.
So roughly 3 million Americans stutter.
Really?
Yep. About 1% of the adult population globally stutters, which is a lot of people. 1% is a lot of people.
It's a fair amount.
Right? And it's pretty consistent, like across all languages and cultures and countries. It's not like area specific or language specific. About 5% of children stutter, and then 1% of adults stutter. So that's,
Is that globally?
Yes. So like 4% of those kids are like,
they just grow out of it.
Yeah.
Or they get help.
Yes. Well, yeah, they usually, that must account for kids who go to speech also obviously grow out of it, but with assistance. But either way, yeah, like 4 out of 5 of those kids end up not stuttering into adulthood. And stuttering is a thing, like Barry would say, once a stutterer, always a stutterer. And I've said that to you before, and it sounds mean when I say it to you. Not like, when's it always a stutter? It's more so you have the brain pathway that the stutter has developed on. So it's not really something that you can like fully like grow out of, even if like you never stutter again. Like that brain wiring,
you're still messed up.
You're still fucked up
on the inside.
It's still there. You've just either like
you're always gonna be fucked.
Yeah, no, because there's nothing wrong with stuttering. You just either have developed compensatory strategies for it, or like you've like learned a different pathway in the brain, and so you're like kind of overriding that stuttering pathway, and now you don't use it anymore, but it's like still there. So you can like grow out of your stutter in the sense that you don't struggle with stuttering anymore, but that brain pathway is still there. So it's like neurodivergence, where it's what you're born with. It's what your brain is like. You can't grow out of being autistic, you know, even if you can hide it really well.
Take for stuttering?
No.
No. Bummer.
No. There's not a pill you can take for like any communication disorder, because it's so complex, and it's the brain and it's the muscles, you know? So it's not really something you could ever take a pill for.
That's a bummer.
Maybe like, I bet things like smoking weed or like anxiety type of interventions can help with it. Like mindfulness can be really helpful, because there is such a psychological, emotional anxiety component to it, where you can like manage the anxiety and stress and shame around it, and that will help with it.
Okay.
So that's the closest thing that could be like taking a pill for it.
Are there any like comorbidities?
Yes, and I will get to them.
Oh, okay. All right.
Don't you worry.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Sorry.
Good question. So stuttering occurs most often in children between the ages of 2 and 6, and that's because they're developing their language skills, and it can just be like really overwhelming for kids where like we talked about, speech is the most complex thing a human can do. There's so much going on with your muscles and your brain, and the synapse is firing, and your vocal cords, and like you're learning new words. Like there's a lot of stuff going on. And so it's pretty like developmentally appropriate for a lot of kids to stutter. So it's not something to like freak out about if you notice that your kid is stuttering. It is something that a lot of kids will grow out of as they get more comfortable with language. But there are also, and I'm going to talk about it in part 2 of this episode, there are like just ways that you can kind of support their speech to make sure that it doesn't like follow them into adulthood. Not that there's anything wrong with stuttering, but it will just make their lives easier. And there are ways to kind of encourage them to like take their time and also to help them avoid developing that shame that's attached to it. Yes, Kristin, your hand is raised.
I have another question.
Mm-hmm.
I just recently watched The Goonies for the first time.
Okay. Just now?
I know. I finally won all the jokes you and Haley used to say. Now it all makes sense.
Oh, I'm glad you're just
Hey,
putting
you
it together.
guys.
Hey, you guys.
In the beginning of the movie, the main character, Samwise Gamgee.
Yes.
And Samwise's mom. They had the same speech thing where they kept saying like a booty trap instead of a booby trap, and they're like, yeah, that's what I said. And they do it like multiple things for multiple times where they're like
switching sounds,
switching the word or switching the, like it's not really a compensatory word because it's just a different word that kind of sounds similar. Is that stuttering? Is that dyslexia?
No, it could be like there's phonological disorders where, but that is more like articulation related. Like kids will say like titty instead of kitty, where like the sounds either like they're like you're approximating a certain speech sound. Like if a word starts with one speech sound and then it has like a similar speech sound also in the word, sometimes kids, it's usually like adults can have it too, but it's much more common in kids where they'll like one consonant will impact the way they're saying another consonant. So it could be something like that, or it could just be where for some reason they started saying a similar sounding word and now that's the pattern of what they know to be that word and they know what they mean, so they don't like really care about fixing it. And then the mom taught him to speak, so then he also says that thing. I'm not sure what's going on with that.
Okay, I have a follow-up question.
Yes.
Because I did just watch The Goonies.
Okay.
And so the mom does it, but also the kid does it. So now that makes me question. So even if this isn't a stuttering question, even if this isn't really related to the Goonies, is there any sort of like genetic situation?
There is a genetic component. I don't think we have facts on like just like how likely you are to pass it down, but there is.
Unlike ADHD where it's like, it's happening.
Yes, where it's like you have like a 90% chance of genetically.
Just buckle up.
Yes, they know that there is a genetic component and it's also related somehow to left-handedness. Like stutterers are more likely to be left-handed.
Interesting.
Yeah, but they don't, like stuttering is really complex and I'll get more into like what they think might cause it, but there are like a few different things going on. And so it's really hard to like lock down exactly what it is. And like, is it that you're hearing your parents stutter and that's like influencing your stutter, or is it just exclusively like genetic where you got the gene that might cause stuttering to be more prevalent? I'm not 100% sure, and neither are researchers, but good questions.
Okay.
Yeah. So if your parent stutters, you are more likely to stutter, but it's not like you're definitely going to be a stutterer.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. And also, is it like, you know, epigenetics wise, because it is so like stress related.
Love a good epigenetics dilemma.
Yeah. So it could be a lot of different things. I think it's like a few different things all kind of coming together. So boys are 2 to 3 times as likely to stutter as girls.
Really?
Yep. And as they get older, this gender difference increases. The number of boys who continue to stutter is 3 to 4 times larger than the number of girls.
Really?
I don't know why that is. Yeah.
So weird.
I know. And like I said,
get it together, boys.
Yeah, boys.
Boys.
Yeah. So Barry Guitar, and I thought this was really helpful to kind of understand.
Can't stop laughing at his name.
I know, right? And he's such a Barry Guitar. He's just like this cute little old man.
We don't have time for this question.
No, we don't.
Okay, moving on.
I can tell we don't.
Yeah.
Barry Guitar described stuttering as taking the back roads instead of the highway.
Oh.
Where it's, like I said, it's not a problem with like physically forming your articulators to create the speech sounds. And it's not a problem in your language area of the brain where you don't know what to say. It's that pathway from your language center to your mouth and like getting the words out. And so he said that like for non-stutterers, you know, you take the highway of just, you come up with what you want to say, swoop, zip on the highway and then it comes out. Whereas stuttering, you're taking the back way, you're taking the winding dirt roads. And so it's just going to like take longer to get there. And yeah, like he taught us the whole thing. It's very fascinating about how when you speak in an accent, because you're using a different pathway than the one you've kind of like created this feedback loop of stuttering on, you usually don't stutter. But he said, if you spoke, I was like, so could you just speak with an accent all the time? He said, eventually you would develop a stutter on that new accented pathway.
I was going to say, is that what happened to Tom Hanks's son?
With his patois accent.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a compensatory strategy for his stutter.
So it's a horrible stutter.
He's not culturally appropriating. It's actually a compensatory strategy for stuttering. So don't be ableist. If Chet Hanks wants to speak in patois, he is allowed to, as is his right. His SLP recommended it. No, I'm just kidding. Wouldn't that be fantastic?
We do not have time today.
Can't get into Chet Hanks today. You know, I always love a Chet Hanks rant. Not today. So like I said, it can go away like during focused activities like exercising. And so Ben, my friend Ben from grad school, he had something really tragic happen in his family when he was 13. And he essentially went like almost completely mute, where the stuttering, because there's such a big emotional component to it, he was having such a hard time getting his speech out. And then again, creates that feedback loop. And he essentially just like either couldn't get his words out at all or didn't want to speak and kind of just like shut down and didn't communicate verbally like much for years. And then got really, really into running and cross country. He actually went to USM for undergrad, which is crazy. Got really, really into cross country track. And then that really, really helped with his stutter because, because when you're not focusing on your speech and when you're like activating different parts of your brain for your motor movements, that like something about it helps you have fluent speech. And then that kind of helped him heal that feedback loop where he wasn't as scared because he could speak fluently. And so he wasn't as scared to get stuck. And that allowed him to like speak more fluently when he wasn't running also.
Okay.
Because it kind of helped him like cut down on that shame to show him like, you can get fluent speech out. And then he was able to kind of like incorporate it back into his daily life. But yeah,
so he could only talk
fluently
running.
Yeah. For the most part.
That's exhausting.
Yeah, very exhausting.
On multiple levels.
Very fit when it comes to running. Yeah, does a lot of running.
Yeah, because anytime he has to talk.
Yeah. And I also think there's probably like a confidence element to it too, because he's like very tall and very thin. He's a very good runner. And so I think that's probably part of it too, is that like this is something that he is really good at. And so that gives him like more confidence where his speech doesn't matter as much because he's good at this thing. So I think that is helpful too, just like boost that confidence back up and like take pressure off of speaking.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Plus the endorphins and stuff. And
true.
all that good stuff for exercising.
Yeah. It's really fascinating. Stuttering is just so interesting. All right. I should probably wrap down this part 1 soon, but a couple more things. There's 2 different types of stuttering. There is developmental stuttering, which is like what we've been talking about, where obviously it develops as a kid and then sometimes it can persist into adulthood.
Can you get like a brain injury and then develop a stutter?
Yep. And that second type is called neurogenic. And that could occur after a stroke, from head trauma, or like any other type of brain injury.
Interesting.
So with this one, the brain has difficulty coordinating the different brain regions involved in speaking.
Interesting.
Yeah. And so
are they treated differently, like therapy wise?
I would imagine so. Yes. Because you're not, I mean, I guess the outcome is the same. It really would depend on like the type of brain injury and like where brain injury is, because it could also be related to like aphasia as well, which is like word finding problems or word comprehension problems. So that one's just a lot more like neurologically complex. So I would imagine that the approach would be different. I've never worked with someone with a neurogenic stutter, but yeah, I would imagine that like it's very case by case dependent, because there probably is some kind of aphasia aspect to it. But with developmental stuttering, most scientists and clinicians believe that the developed stuttering just comes from complex interactions of multiple factors. Recent brain imaging studies have shown consistent differences in those who stutter compared to non-stuttering peers. I'll talk about it more next episode. Like I said, there are some genetic factors, but they haven't really like locked down exactly what that is. But yeah, that's I guess my intro to stuttering and kind of the basics of like what it is, the different types, what it sounds like. And then in part 2, we'll talk about those comorbidities. We'll talk about what might be going on in the brain. Like I said, they're still researching it. They're like finally doing more brain imaging studies on stuttering, but because it is so complex, they still don't have like a super clear answer of what's going on because there's so many different components. And they'll also talk about some treatments in part 2 of like, yeah, what I did in grad school, and then like some other ways that you can kind of intervene. You don't have to be a speech pathologist to do some of these also, where some of them are just like communication tips for if you're communicating with someone with a stutter, or if your child is showing signs of stuttering, there are things you can do before you have to go speech therapy route, which can be expensive and time consuming. Got to go in for an evaluation. And it's like, are they going to grow out of this? Should we do something? There's like some tips you can use for kind of that middle ground where try these techniques first. And then if it's still persisting, then I would say get an evaluation, but try these things first. And maybe that'll help them kind of grow out of it. So yeah, we'll get into that in part 2.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yay, we're doing it.
Oh yeah,
Stuttering.
I'm doing it. I know, this is fun.
This is fun.
I like talking about things that I've learned, turns out.
It's a much broader subject than I had
Than you realized?
Than I realized.
Yeah?
Yeah. There's a lot going on, and like the more I think about it, the more it's like when you realize you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm getting to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna now every time I talk, I'm gonna be self-conscious about it.
Well, don't.
And redevelop my stutter.
Don't.
It's happening.
Well, now you gotta develop an accent. Maybe.
Oh.
Yeah. I think you should develop an accent, maybe a little Irish.
It could be Irish.
Yeah.
I'm really bad at accents. Except the South, I could do a Southern accent. I'm very good at that. Fun.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah.
Every time I go to the South, I come back with an accent. That's fun.
Great. Yeah, I love to mimic people's accents.
Yeah,
it's really
I don't
fun.
do it on purpose. It just happens.
Same. It's ukulele. It triggers my ukulele. Like Maura on the Traitors. Anyone who's watching Traitors season 4, that Irish accent, man, it's killing me. It's so good. It's a throwaway vote. It's just like such a fun, delightful, charming accent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if people say that about the New England accent.
Probably not.
No.
Because we don't have like wicked Maine accents. Like I think the Maine accent is fun to imitate.
Fun, but it's not like
charming.
No,
not at all.
No.
Yes.
No. Australians
say that Americans are very nasally. That's what they would make fun of me for, is being nasally.
Nasally?
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know what you guys mean. I mean, we're just always like making fun of us. Yeah.
But
speaking nasally. I don't know. I never heard it.
I would say Australians are nasally.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
The nasaliest of the nasals.
You don't realize what is left to be made fun of for until you go to another country.
Yeah, I actually wasn't even aware that my parents had accents, which they do. Which they do. They are hardcore Mainers with hardcore accents.
Yes.
And I had no idea.
Your mother especially.
My mother.
Yeah.
Yes. She doesn't get out much.
Yeah, she does have a Mainer accent. Yeah.
She does. We love her.
Yeah.
And so one of my friends from grad school, he was and still is a first-generation Indian American. And so his parents have very thick Indian accents.
I love the Indian accent. It's so like melodic.
Yes. It's like, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful language too.
Yes. Sounds so much nicer than
and Arabic. Oh my God, it's so pretty. And I'm just like, why can't we talk good like that?
Yeah, right.
How come we don't talk pretty?
Yeah,
because English
like
is so
English
choppy.
is not like a pretty language.
Pretty.
Yeah,
not pretty at all. But so he comes up because he wanted to hike a mountain in Maine, and so we're gonna hike a mountain, but we got to stop off at my parents' stuff to get like camping supplies, and then we're gonna like meet my cousin and go from there. So my parents are like, one, a brown man, which is just another thing, a whole nother concept. Well, like I said, they don't get out much. They were very excited to meet this gentleman. and
finally some diversity.
And they're like talking about Maine in the woods, and Marty gave him a whole explanation of like the history of Portland and the 3 fires. It was
great.
Super embarrassing.
I'm sure he was happy to learn.
Literally just came for a tent and a cooler.
Yeah.
But here we are.
I mean, yeah, how often are they talking to people who like don't live in Maine
and
also,
who are
you know?
interested? That's the other
Yeah.
thing. He said he was interested, and I was like,
Big mistake. Huge.
Mistake.
Yeah.
So we get all this stuff. We get back in the car, and we're gonna go meet my cousin so we can go and drive up to Baxter State Park. And we get in the car, and I'm like, oh, sorry, that was probably a lot. And he just goes, man, I thought my parents had big accents.
Oh.
I was like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
They speak fine. He's like, yeah, whatever you want to say, whatever you think, that's fine.
No, your mother especially does have a very
she
thick
does
accent.
have a lot of like remember, idea.
Yeah, you drop
You drop
R's,
the R's
and then you add R's.
You add R's at the end of A's.
Yes. Like Elena's name is Elainer.
Elainer.
Africa.
Yeah.
Oh, my mom does it sometimes
I forgot
too.
about
She's not even from Maine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, Mom, that's bad.
This is going to happen to us.
You just said Elainer. Yeah.
This is, get ready.
I hope not.
This is our future. It's happening.
I'm going to make a real concerted effort not to.
Hernier.
Oh, gross.
One of my coworkers is from the area, and he says hernier, and I'm just like,
ew.
It's not correct, but that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Anyways, thank you guys for listening. I'm just now realizing did not prepare a bod. Should I find a bod real quick?
Let's.
All right, we are doing the cactus wren for our bod.
Wren.
And my
Here we are.
fun fact, it's the Arizona state bird, and it's known for its bold, noisy behavior in southwestern deserts.
Really?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It's just nice and loud, which when we played that sound, yes, I do recognize that from Arizona. You hear that a lot in the desert.
You gotta love a bold bird.
I love a bold bird. I love a bird that's not afraid to be loud, loud and proud. Good for her. She knows she's a state bird and she's proud of it. And she really earned that spot.
Yeah.
All right.
They're very cute.
They are very cute.
They're very fluffy.
All right, play that sound.
No.
A little more of a T sound in there, like.
I'm like, you're very good at this.
I don't know if I'm very good at it. I'm better than you.
Than me.
Because I'm picking out the different sounds, whereas I feel like you're not maybe necessarily like thinking about.
Not really thinking much.
The closeness to like what speech sounds it would be.
Well, only one of us went for speech therapy.
I know, but I also feel like that's just part of having ears.
It's hard to pick up the speech sounds when it's a speech that humans don't make.
Yeah, but I feel like you can think about what's closest for what you can produce. I think you nailed it.
There we go.
You got it. Yeah.
You're still very dark.
That's okay.
We've got to fix that.
I'm going to lighten it up.
Okay.
I got it. Don't worry about it.
You got to fix it in post.
I'm going to fix it in post.
You're like
Now's not the time to talk about it. All right.
Okay.
All right. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.